Dallas Cowboys sign Kony Ealy to bolster pass rush, Matt Verderame, fan-sided. While the signing of Ealy has fans happy about the depth of the defensive end position, what can we expect from the former second-round pick? Ealy has spent time with 3 teams in the NFL career. The former star at the University of Missouri was drafted in the first round by the Carolina Panthers in 2014, but he failed to make the impact that was expected. Last off-season, Ealy was dealt to the New England Patriots, but he was cut before the regular began. The veteran was then claimed off waivers by the New York Jets, where he played in 15 games and recorded 11 tackles and 1 sack. In Carolina, Ealy looked like he was going to break out in 2015, when he amassed 5 sacks in the regular and another 3 in Super Bowl 50, a loss to the Denver Broncos. Ealy even recorded the last interception of Peyton Manning's career in that defeat. Sean Scout, as late FA signing, knew Kony Ealy brings value to Cowboys D. Inside the Star. Ian Martin from Inside the Star provides a nice scouting report on the Cowboys' new edge rusher. Kony Ealy. Strengths: Kony Ealy is a lengthy pass rusher that takes long and balanced strides off the edge to capture the corner. Earning opportunities to rush the half-man was not a problem for Ealy with the Jets, as he consistently fired off the ball with above-average burst, sometimes enough to generate leverage and disengage. Ealy's ability to play with lower body power was the most impressive part of his game at both left and right defensive end. Ideally, this is a situational RDE for the Cowboys, although Ealy is certainly solid enough against the run to warrant snaps on both sides. Ealy is a fluid player, one that has no problem flowing to the ball while keeping blockers at a distance with his length. At 6'4", this is a lanky rusher that can be difficult to control at the line of scrimmage. Kony Ealy was rarely seen completely washed out of a play, as he is not afraid to counter inside of his blockers and plug gaps. How will Kony Ealy factor into the D-line rotation? Tim Code, the Landry Hat. Kony Ealy looked to be on his way to a promising career after a stellar Super Bowl performance, but things haven't gone as planned since. What can the veteran pass rusher offer the Cowboys despite the low price tag? It's not crazy to think the former second-round pick could make an impact on the Cowboys. Apparently, Dallas' interest in Ealy goes all the way back to the 2014 draft. They were also interested in acquiring the defensive end after the New England Patriots waived him last. They put a claim in for him, but the Jets ended up acquiring his services because they were higher in the waiver wire. How does he fit in with the Cowboys? Returning to a classic 4-3 defense should benefit Ealy's natural upfield pass rushing ability. And for the Cowboys, Ealy represents the exact dimensions of a defensive end in Rod Marinelli's defense. Listed at 6'4" and weighing 273 pounds, Ealy is the big pass rusher the Cowboys so frequently look to acquire. 5 fun facts about new defensive end, Kony Ealy. Christy Scales, 5 points. Blue Jay to know the Cowboy new edge rusher with 5 fun facts, courtesy of Christy Scales. 1. Ealy is tied for most sacks in a Super Bowl, is the first player in Super Bowl history with multiple sacks and an interception in Super Bowl 50 as a member of the Carolina Panthers. Ealy sacked Peyton Manning 3 times and picked him off once. Ealy became the first player in Super Bowl history to record multiple sacks and an interception in a single game. And his 3 sacks tie him with Hall of Famer Reggie White. Green Bay, Super Bowl 31, and Darnell Dockett, Cardinals, Super Bowl 43 for the most sacks in a single Super Bowl game. What's more impressive, Ealy wreaked all but havoc in Super Bowl 50 in only 23 snaps. As a backup to Charles Johnson and Jared Allen, Ealy played only 38% of the defensive snaps in the game. Ealy's Herculean efforts, however, weren't enough to win a Super Bowl ring led by Manning, Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware. The Broncos beat the Panthers 24-10. Report, Dallas Cowboys worked out Ryan Delaire Friday. Sam Quinn, 247 Sports. The Cowboys signed one former Carolina Panthers defensive end this past week. Could they sign another? Ryan Delaire missed last with a torn ACL, but the Cowboys are kicking the tires as they continue to build depth. This workout could be taken in several ways for the Cowboys. The simplest is that they just want more competition for the defensive ends at the bottom of their roster. Players like Charles Tapper and Dayton Jones should not have earned unquestioned roster spots, so bringing in some extra competition could force them to step up and play better in the preseason. The other possibility is that the Cowboys signed Ealy and are now considering Delaire because they are pessimistic about the chances of Randy Gregory getting reinstated by the league in time for the There is not a definitive timetable on that decision, so the Cowboys may just need the extra bodies for training camp practices, but bringing in so many players at Gregory's position does not exactly scream he is coming back. Has Dallas addressed their 5 biggest points of failure from 2017? KD Drummond, Cowboys. Why or what hurt the Cowboys the most last, and what have they done to mitigate these problems? KD Drummond examines. When Sean Lee was out the lineup, Lee missed 2 parts of the early in the year and then once again when Elliott and Smith were also out. The effect on the defense was nauseating. In the 7 games where Lee was out of things, the defense allowed 27.5 points a game. In the 9 games he played, just 15.4. They gave up 35 or more points on the 4 times, 3 of them without Lee. The early games were without Anthony Hitchens as well, but Hitchens was around for the debacle in the middle of the. He won't be around this year as HES with Kansas City now signing with the Chiefs as a free agent. Dallas is counting on the improvement of third-year pro Jalen Smith to offset the loss of Hitchens, but they only signed little-used Joe Thomas in the offseason at the position and have lost depth linebackers Justin Durant and Kyle Wilbur as well. Dallas is down from where they were at the position in 2017 and will have to use the draft to augment it in a major way. Are there any players who could immediately fill in for Lee should he go down again in 2018 NFL Draft Battles? Leighton Vander Esch vs. Rashaan Evans, Jeff Hartman. Behind the steel curtain, the Pittsburgh Steelers are on the lookout for a linebacker, so our sister site Behind the Steel Curtain compares a couple of the late first-round prospects who are also on the Cowboys' radar. Leighton Vander Esch, big, long and athletic. Has history of achievement with dominant performances and state titles in 2 sports in high school. Former basketball standout with fluid hips and smooth movement around the field. Almost no delay in his change of direction. Has agility and quick twitch for sudden lateral bursts in his slides to close out slashes. Triggers with compact burst to the ball. Works under climbing blockers to stay clean. Easy sideline to sideline range as tackler. Has athletic ability to recover and tackle despite over-pursuit. Widens frame and opens arms to welcome his prey as a tackler. Generally wraps up. Very talented in coverage. Rashaan Evans, build like new breed of NFL linebackers. Possesses good length and great speed. Premium athlete with plus agility, range and explosiveness. Quick to diagnose. Works around the trash when scraping. Able to pace to the perimeter with the jet sweepers and scat backs. Patient against misdirection and easily baited out of position. Deftly sidesteps blocks without giving his gap responsibility. Has athletic ability to dance from gap to gap and look up shifty running backs. Learned from tough guys ahead of him and adapted their demeanor. Explosive, wrap-up striker who sees what he hits. Fans voted and here are the results. NFL Draft Prospect to know, Leighton Vander Esch, pound, Boise State. Cole Patterson, blogging The Boise's own Cole Patterson takes a closer look at the linebacker prospect from Boise State. Vander Esch is a player that his warts, like his struggles to get off blocks, only having one big, and his bizarre similarities to 2006 Cowboys first-round pick Bobby Carpenter, but he also has upside and talent. Long and athletic, MWC Defensive Player of the Year, and 141 tackles in one. While he may not be worth the 19th selection in some eyes, he will certainly be long gone before 50. Okay, last one on Vander Esch for tonight. Check out this change of direction, then the explosion to the ball carrier. This man is 64,256. Pic.twitter.com/IkeNalu. Andy Herman at Scholarsports, April 3, 2018. 5 underrated prospects Cowboys should target during 2018 draft. Clint Lamb, Cowboys. Why the Cowboys don't like investing premium draft resources in the defensive tackle position, but that doesn't mean they can't land a good one. Clint Lamb identifies some low-flying prospects, including the high-upside DT from Fort Hays State School of Typewriter Maintenance. Shepard is the definition of a raw prospect. Fort Hays State is a Division II school located in Kansas, so a lot of that could be the result of the lack of competition. He showed well in the collegiate all-star games though, and proving his skill set translated first in the Collegiate Bowl and then in the Senior Bowl bumped his stock considerably. Shepard does possess the tools needed to eventually become a high-quality player on the interior of some team's defensive line. There's a freaky combination of size 6'5", 315 pounds, strength and athleticism. It would be unfair to assume that he could step into a major role early in his NFL career, but he's another guy who could be a prime target in the 4th round. Let's finish the final stretch off with some mock goodness. Bruler, 3-round mock NFL draft. Dane Bruler, NFL draft scout. Does draft guru Dane Bruler have in store for the Cowboys in his latest 3-round mock? He opts for a playmaking linebacker who continues to climb up the draft boards. 19. Dallas Cowboys, Leighton Vander Esch, pound. Boise State. Some might see this as a reach, but the Cowboys don't. Vander Esch is an ascending talent who has very encouraging tape, traits and production, giving Dallas immediate depth at linebacker and a potential Pro Bowler. Dallas Cowboys mock draft roundup. 4/6 Sam Quinn, 247 Sports. While there is still quite a variety of names being thrown around for the Cowboys' first-round pick, but some usual suspects keep showing up in this latest mock roundup from 247 Sports. Tom Fornelli, CBS Sports. Rashaan Evans, pound. Alabama. The Cowboys could go quite a few different directions here, but I think Evans will be hard to pass up. Evans is ready to contribute right away, and he comes from a great lineage of Alabama middle linebackers. Donta Hightower and C.J. Mosley are stars. Rolando McClain was a useful starter for the Cowboys, and it seems as if every linebacker Nick Saban produces goes on to do something of note in the NFL. Evans would serve 2 roles for the Cowboys. He would give them perhaps the most raw talent in the NFL at linebacker when combined with Dalen Smith and Sean Lee, but he is also injury insurance for either. Neither are sure things for next, which makes linebacker one of the most frequently mocked positions for the Cowboys. The other wide receiver, and another one of Evans' teammates, is quickly becoming the favorite at number 19. The more the merrier. 7-round mock for the Dallas Cowboys. Tom Ryle, blogging The Boys to Bruise and The Boys dynamic duo of Michael Sizemore and Tom Ryle have been feeling a little mockadelic lately. Michael gave us his most recent 7-rounder on Friday and Tom answers back with his on Saturday. Make sure you let them know which one you like better, they got bragging rights at stake. Pick 19 round 1, Isaiah Wynn, G. Georgia. I have been making the case since January that the most valuable way to use the first pick of the draft is to address the trenches. That was my guiding principle here, and coming into things, my top 3 players to address those needs were Wynn, G. Will Hernandez, and DTV Vea. In this case, it looked like Vea was already likely to be gone, and I lean Og as the more impactful position anyway. You want to see your first-round pick starting, and an offensive lineman is on the field and making a contribution on every offensive snap. With the choice down to Wynn and Hernandez, I went with a higher-ranked player, but between the two, there is no real wrong answer, at least to me. Wynn is the more finished product of the two, so he gets the nod. He is 313 pounds of mean looking to steal people's souls. With him, the Dallas O-line is immediately back in contention for one of, if not the best line in the NFL.